Hello everybody and welcome to my kitchen. I'm in a very good mood because I'm clocking off soon and I'm looking forward to eating what I'm about to make. So, in Press at the minute they have the most amazing chocolate almond butter cookies, but they're never around. Every time I go in Pret, and I go in there pretty much daily looking for these, unless you're in there in the morning, they're all sold out, so I'm making my own. Point to a reference though is that the Pret ones are vegan. I couldn't find a vegan recipe, so mine have eggs in there, so just bear that in mind. Here is what you're going to need. We need some dark chocolate. In the recipe it actually said chocolate chips, but I want chunkier bits, so I'm going for bars of chocolate. You need some baking powder, some almond butter, some vanilla extract, some eggs, some demerara sugar, some cocoa powder, and some coconut oil. Let's do it. Wow, these are super easy to make. Step one, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I know that's 175 degrees Celsius. Do you know why? Because I asked Google a minute ago. Okay, Google, what's 350 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius, please?
350 degrees Fahrenheit equals 176.667 degrees Celsius.
I'm rounding down because my oven doesn't like 176.667, so I'm doing 175. Let's switch it on. Step two, in a medium bowl, whisk all other ingredients together except the chocolate chips. This is going to be so easy. Okay, so what you need first is 1 cup of almond butter. That's quite a lot of almond butter. That's a cup. That is a lot of almond butter going in there. Oh no, there's more in here. I've got the big stuff. There we go. In you get, come on. So it turns out 1 cup of almond butter is basically a jar. So rather than putting your jar from a jar into a cup and then into a bowl, you may as well go straight from jar to bowl. Makes more sense, right? But that's why I make the mistakes, so you don't have to. Wait, look. This is like my favorite, this is a very tiny one, don't get me wrong, it's like made for babies and I'm a giant, but a silicone spatula is like my favorite bakery tool, because you don't get any like scratchiness. I'm not into that, I like it all to be smooth. So I'm gonna try and get as much of my, oh look, and it's so efficient. Look how much cleaner that is than a spoon. What was I doing with the spoon? What a rookie. Right, that's in there. 1 teaspoon of melted coconut oil. Which one's your teaspoon? You. And you know what? I'm not going to melt it because it's quite hot in here. If it's not melted already, it will soon. What are you made of? Right, hang on. I'm going to have to bring in the big guns. Do you think that's a bit overkill? No! Perfect. 1 teaspoon. Very oily, this recipe, because it's already got the almond butter, which is kind of very oily anyway, and then a teaspoon of this as well. It's a lot of oil to go into any one thing. It's supposed to be melted. Screw it. Next up, you need half a cup of your brown sugar. So, I'm really bad at opening things. I've got a feeling this recipe might be quite claggy because so far I've got almond butter, which is super clag. It's like clagtastic. I've got a bit of coconut oil in there, and I've got this sugar, which is like basically moist clag. So let's see how these claggy cookies are going to go. Plonk. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. God, this should lube it right up, shouldn't it? 1 teaspoon of this stuff. Woo! Careful, might we go too runny. There we go. 1 egg, slightly beaten. Well, it's going to get beaten, isn't it, anyway? So I'm just going to put the egg in, and then I'll beat it when it's in there. Plonk. 1/3 of a cup unsweetened cocoa powder. Is 1/3 of a cup a thing? It is, there it is. Oh. Crikey, it takes a while. There you come. Oh. It's not going very well. Do you know what? I often have to be in the right frame of mind to do a baking video, and usually I'm quite sort of neat and tidy and eloquent. Today, as you can see, couldn't care any less. I just want to make the cookies. There we go, that'll do. Plonk. Next up is 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, don't embarrass me. I'm gonna have to get my knife out again, aren't I? There we go. Now, I've only got 1 teaspoon measurer and it's kind of covered in coconut oil and vanilla extract. So I'm just gonna pour my baking powder into it over my mixture. So it could go a little bit wrong here. Now we're doing great. There we go. Right, so now we have to whisk everything together, but I know better than going straight in with a whisk when you've got this much powder and stuff on top. So I'm using my little silicone guy to give everything a loose combine first. Because if I go in with a whisk right now, I'm just gonna get cocoa powder sprayed everywhere. This ain't my first rodeo. Could have done with a slightly bigger spatula though, if I'm honest. So, oh, I found my coconut oil. Maybe I should have melted it. There's currently a lump of it, like that. It's all right, I'll just squish it all in, it'll be fine. How am I gonna whisk that together? It's entirely, it's like a paste. It says in the I mean, I can't have messed this up, surely. Just put things in a bowl and mix together. But it says to whisk. I can't see how you're gonna be able to whisk that. It's just paste. Let me find out. Yeah, nah, that's not being whisked, is it? When you whisk things, that's not supposed to happen. I know that much about baking. I don't know how to get it out. I'm going back to my spatula, you know. Screw the whisk. I don't play by no rules. I don't care what the instructions say. I'm a bloody baking maverick. I'm basically Paul Hollywood. Also, reliably informed that this is a Paul Hollywood spatula. Lucky me. Right, well that's about as combined as it's gonna get. Whether you use a spatula or a whisk or your forehead, that's about as much as it's gonna do, I think. Right, so the next step is to get your baking tray and put some baking paper onto it, and then you're supposed to get like a tablespoon each and squash it down to a cookie shape. That's a tablespoon. I think anyone deserves a bigger cookie than that, surely. I'll see how my first one looks. If it looks too small, I'm gonna go bigger. Right, now, I think I'm supposed to put my chocolate kind of on top, but I'm gonna put some chocolate throughout it too. So I'm gonna get my chocolate bar here, break it all up. I've got 2 chocolate bars. It says half a cup in the recipe. We'll see how we do, shall we? So half a cup is probably like just under half a bar. That's fair enough, I'll put that in, but I'm not stopping there. I'm gonna put some more on top as well when I make the actual cookie shapes. Next step is to get your baking tray and line it with baking paper. Right, that's done. Now, it says that basically each cookie is a tablespoon of the mixture rolled into a ball, then flattened down. That doesn't look like much mixture to me. So let's do a first one. Maybe I shouldn't pile up quite as high as that. Right. Out you come. Who are you trying to kid? That's never been a cookie. That's a chocolate chip. That's what that is. A slightly mushier chocolate chip. No way. I'm doubling up big time. You're not fooling me. That's better. I mean, even that's still quite small for a cookie, I'd say. But portion control, I suppose. I don't think it's a good sign that it's already crumbled. It's not even gone into the heat yet. I'm also going to get 1 more chocolate square and place it on top. Plonk, like that, okay. It's a very weird little mixture this, because it's really oily, but yet somehow crumbly, which doesn't seem to make sense to me. I don't understand, because they even make a squelchy noise. Where's my microphone? Can you hear that? That's a really squelchy noise, but then it just wants to crumble. All right. 6 cookies. Now, it says to bake for 8 to 10 minutes, but that was when they were like half the size. So I'm gonna put them in for 8 to 10 minutes to start with and then come back and sort of check every so often.
Sure, 8 minutes. Starting.
All right, see you in 8 to 10 minutes. All right, so we're about 12 minutes in now, maybe more 11 minutes. I wasn't keeping exact time, but they look pretty good. Oh, they've definitely expanded, but they look bloody amazing if I do say so myself. Also really hot, so I have to put it down now. Also, I'm very concerned that this isn't my kitchen because I rent this place and I put a hot tray onto the counter. Watch this, everyone. There we go. Now, it's on the on a tea towel. Cooling rack. I don't want to scoop these off because I'm pretty sure they're going to crumble, so I'm going to try. Tell you what, let's do it this way. No. Ow! Ow! Watch this, everyone. Uh-oh. You might not have seen what just happened, but I broke half of them in half. So 50% of them are now in half. I'm just gonna leave them to cool and hope that the molten chocolate sort of joins them back together again where I broke them. We'll see. It's about 5-10 minutes later now and the cookies are nice and cool and they look and smell delicious. I have a slight conundrum now. I don't know how to get them from the rack here onto my plate. If I had like a little flippy doodah, I could do that. But like I said, I haven't baked in this kitchen yet, so I'm kind of, I just bought a bunch of stuff off Amazon. I was like, yeah, that's what I need. Didn't think these would be quite so crumbly, so I'm gonna attempt to move one. I just poked one a minute ago and it basically went, so I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to move one. Maybe that's why you're supposed to make them half the size, because if they get too big, they have no structural integrity. But this one looks like the sturdiest. So let's go with this one. I'm gonna take it to the edge here and peel it off, I think. Oh God, it's gonna break instantly. I'm gonna use my hand as the flipper, so I'm just gonna sort of like, there you go. It did break, but you didn't see it. So my hand goes under here, and then I tease it onto my hand. Oh, it's got melted chocolate underneath it. Oh, it's still breaking. Okay, oh no, totally in half. Okay. That'll do. It looks delicious though. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna leave that for now. If anything, I think it looked better on this. It's a bit more rustic, so I'm gonna leave them there. The one that's broken though, I will use as my victim and I will try. God, it's really broken. Look, it just crumbles. It is good though. It is really good. A bit pluggy. Bloody delicious. I do feel like maybe, just maybe I was wrong in making them bigger because what I should have done maybe is had them the right size and just eaten 2 rather than doubling up because they've crumbled. They have, but they're so good. Well done me. If you want to make these, use the hashtag #BakingWithJim. Post it on Instagram, post it on Twitter, post it on the moon, I don't care, just let me know, I want to see how they get on. Maybe try doing them smaller and let me know how they work out. Thanks very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff, and I will see you very, very soon. Goodbye.